Okay.
Yeah.
So what I want you to do is take me through Sunday into Monday.
Okay.
And be as detailed as possible as to what you were doing, who was there, where you were at, how long you spent, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Because the more detail I have, it might spark something for me.
Is it okay if I take my notes out? Because like I wrote down all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I was like, I tried to write down anything he might like say, and just in case, because I had like notes from different things or whatever. So we already talked about the beginning things, so I figured you're reading that, man. So my paper is that we're at the same story that we started with, but then you want me to start with Sunday, which was the day that we went hiking, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we went hiking at Garden of the Gods. Did you see the picture from Garden of Gods?
I didn't.
Okay, so we have pictures where we went to Garden of Gods. We were going to take the dogs for a walk, but then my daughter got called in to work because she works at Massage Envy.
Okay.
So we were like, okay, we're going to go hiking. The crazy thing is, like, it's always like, you got one kid likes to hike a lot, the other one don't. So spent the whole time like, come on, let's go. We got to burn calories. Excuse me. All those type of things. Gannon, he started having a stomach problem, and he pooped in his pants. So it kind of cut our hike a little bit short. But I was like, it's okay. It was getting kind of cold. I say cold for me, but I'm used to like 80-degree weather, so it was kind of getting cold.
All right, Greg, what do you got?
So we start off with this cop having built rapport. You didn't see that part of the video, but in the video, she actually talks to her. She says, hey, I got to do some obligatory things. She reads her Miranda and that kind of thing so she can start her talking and gets her to where she feels comfortable. This woman feels comfortable for a reason. You can tell. She's created a story. In this story, when we talk about in the True Crime Workshop, we say there's a trigger, there's fabrication, there's deconflicting in your head, there's pitch, there's defend, and that puts you back into having to create, to fabricate, and to deconflict and you get in a circle. If you do a good job, you put them into a spiral, a death spiral, and that life falls apart. She's ready. She's either one of two things. She premeditated this murder for a long time, or she is crazy and really good at doing it in the past 48 hours, which means a whole lot of past experience lying. Either way, what she's doing up front here, she's created some kind of story to justify her later lies when she's talking about this whole carpet thing and this fire. So watch when the cop starts to sound like a cop suddenly. Watch the barriers come up, her touch her face, do an intake breath. She does romancer, locks eyes with her to make sure that she's getting what she wants. Interesting for me, if you ask a person who has lived through a horrific story, if I ask Chase about an incident involving some violence in the military, that entire thing is horrific and violent. And everything about it, he's going to talk about, I got up Tuesday morning. He's not going to go, I got up Tuesday morning. It's not the way people remember stories. When a person comes in and the only horror is when the event happens, you need to be suspicious. So let's pay attention to that. And there's so much here. I'm going to just do a couple more. She's got notes. Oh, and photos. If you're talking about building a backstory, what a hell of a backstory to build. This is her chaff baseline. She's not using redirect. She's coming in prancing with enough information to protect her. If you guys remember Rebecca Fenton, I wanted for nothing, had the toilet in her bedroom. You remember that one? She did this. She came in with da. Like nothing horrible had ever happened. Chase, what do you got?
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think that just the phrase of, and we took photos and we have photo evidence of that, essentially is what she's saying, is the biggest red flag in the world. If something happened, already know what happened, and you were a witness to what happened, you don't need to provide photos there. That is it. I heard that one line and I knew something's extremely wrong with this. And I don't know much about the case. But let's look at the behavior of somebody missing a child. Would a reasonable person think they needed permission to take some notes out of their pocket to help locate the child? Would a reasonable person think that using notes to help locate a child might look guilty? So just using this standard here, we can see the behavior of guilt or shame. And guilty people are more likely to need rapport with interviewers and investigators. You're going to see permissive behaviors here that otherwise would be completely absent in a reasonable person. So why would this person feel the need to be kind and ensure they were making eye contact, both interviewers the entire time, there's not a whole lot of clusters of behavior here, because I think she spent a whole lifetime lying. But the verbal stuff gives it all away. And that's why that's so important. So much of this is probably all true, and it gives us an opportunity to maybe develop a little weird baseline. This chest touching here, which is how we indicate sincerity. This hunched forward position where this is the soft spot on our bodies. And I'll pass it to Mark to kind of talk about how we, bend over and kind of protect that. Just overly animated and just rapid assessment. So this back and forth between both of the interviewers is not making eye contact socially. This is an assessment to make sure that her story is being believed. Mark?
Yeah, so under stress, under pressure, you will often find that people will protect the belly area, underneath the arms here, neck, around here, crunching in, turtling, as we call it. Often bring the legs in, so the arteries in the thigh area, inner thigh area, groin area are protected. Wrist areas, joints get protected, and so often we're looking out for that. And of course, as I said before, that stomach area. So we have got that crunch in of the stomach. Though interesting, isn't it? Because though there's a massive difference between the interviewer and the subject in terms of relaxation, the interviewer, very, very relaxed. The subject on the edge of the seat, a little more tense, still very relaxed in the storytelling around a crime going on. Now, as is often the case, I have no idea what's going on here in terms of the crime. I came to this having no understanding who this is, what the crime is. So my initial situation here is number one, like, welcome to Grandma's house. This is an interesting decor here for an interview room. Soft, comforting. A little fusty, maybe a little dowdy in many ways. I don't know what's trying to be achieved from that. Maybe that's budget. Maybe that's purposeful. Not quite sure on that. But there we have somebody very relaxed in Grandma's house, and another little more edge of their seat in Grandma's house. But look, somebody's been read their rights, as Greg says. So there's a crime gone on. There's two interviewers there. You've been brought in. There's a crime gone on. I'm not even sure why she's not a little more tense, a little more eager in this situation. Storytelling, very relaxed there. I think the notes is very, very interesting. What's the upside of the notes for her? Well, upside is she can keep referring back to the story. She can use the notes not only as a physical barrier, but a mental barrier as well. It'd be very easy, like we might do with politicians or lawyers, in fact, to go, look, as I said in my notes, so somebody can question you and you can keep going back and blaming the notes rather than your memory getting the story wrong. So, as we go forward, hey, maybe those notes will be a great barrier for her in some way. Downside to it is somebody else can refer back to those notes. They're written down. They're evidence in themselves of an idea that somebody's had. So again, let's see what happens with those notes in the next video. But interesting start for me simply in the difference between the interviewer and the subject here. Scott, what do you got on this one?
All right. I agree with you, Chase. This thing right out of, 30 seconds in, you go, oh, you got to be kidding me. She takes notes out. And you're right, Greg, that she's totally prepared for this. She's so prepared. I've never seen this before. Has anybody ever seen anybody take notes out?
No.
I mean, not just even in person, but I mean, on videos or anything.
With cuffs on.
Yeah, but that's incredible. And she's telling about the detail she has. The smiles she's showing, the mood she's in totally goes against somebody who should be in horror right now, should be sad, should be out of their mind, depressed over this, trying to rethink what could I have done to make sure this didn't happen or to keep an eye on him, whatever it is. Unbelievable. A whole lot of adapting going on there. Whole lot of adapting. Everything from the neck rub when she runs her hand all the way down her neck. We can say that goes to the suprasternal notch where women or men will also touch their suprasternal notch, but she just doesn't do that. She rubs her whole neck. She's trying so hard to get rid of this built up stress and tension. She just looks like it's a little toy or something that's been wound up and just spinning around on that couch. So we see her legs are going back and forth. She's readjusting all the time. She looks like Tom Arnold Remember Roseanne Arnold's husband? He never could sit still. He was all whacked on dope. He would just get so wired, he just couldn't sit still. That's what she reminded me of, was that. And you're right, Greg, the romancing is over the top, man. Just trying to lock in, smile, put them in a good mood. And I don't know why they're not going, listen, we're moms too. How can you not stop and say, you've got to be kidding me. You have to be kidding me here. Why are you not feeling any of this? But being professionals, they can't do that. What else? I've got so much on this. I agree with you. She's a professional liar. This isn't her first time she's done this. She's one of those that's been doing it her whole life just for sport. So those kind of people, it's nothing for them to say. She's got her protocol, I'm sure she uses when she backs up her fake stories and her lies. Whole thing. She's ready to go on this. She's prepared to lie. And boy, she's given it the best shot she possibly can. All right. We good?
Yeah.
Greg, I'll give you that one.
One of those tape replays.
Would be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I want you to do is take me through Sunday into Monday,
Okay.
and be as detailed as possible as to what you were doing, who was there, where you were at, how long you spent, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
Because the more detail I have, it might spark something for me.
Is it okay if I take my notes out? Because I wrote down all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
and I was
absolutely.
Because I was like, I tried to write down anything he might say, and just in case, because I have notes from different things or whatever. So we already talked about the beginning things, so I figured you're reading that. So my paper is that we're at the same story that we started with, but then you want me to start with Sunday, which was the day that we went hiking, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we went hiking at Garden of the Gods. Did you see the picture from Garden of Gods?
I didn't.
Okay, so we have pictures where we went to Garden of Gods. We were going to take the dogs for a walk, but then my daughter got called in to work because she works at Massage Envy.
Okay.
So we were like, okay, we're going to go hiking. The crazy thing is, it's always got one kid likes to hike a lot, the other one don't. So spent the whole time come on, let's go. We got to burn calories. Excuse me. All those type of things. Gannon, he started having a stomach problem, and he pooped in his pants. So it kind of cut our hike a little bit short. But I was like, it's okay. It was getting kind of cold. I say cold for me, but I'm used to 80-degree weather, so it was kind of getting cold.
If you like this video, get the full body language breakdown and analysis on our main channel by clicking this video right here.